Today we are going to talk about percents. Percents are part of your everyday life. You see them when you're calculating a tip for your favorite restaurant. You see them when you get your 30% off discount at your store that you like to shop at. You see the percent in your grade on your midterm. And you'll see them on that promising sticker on your favorite conditioner that says that you get 50% more. So you may be asking yourself, what is a percent? Well, percent literally means per, which is out of or for each, and cent, which is 100. So when you think percent, you should think out of 100. When you try to figure out a percent, you need to think, what part do I have or do you have out of 100? Say you have 5%. That literally means you have 5 pieces. Shade in our 5 here. Out of the total 100. So you have 5%. You may now be thinking, that's great, I know what a percent is, but how do I use this information? How do I actually solve percents? Well, I always recommend using a percent proportion. That means setting up a ratio or 2 ratios that are proportional. Percent is part of 100 or out of 100, so we use a part over whole ratio that is equal to the percent over 100. So let's look at an example problem. Let's talk about Sally. Sally answered 17 questions correctly on her test out of 20. What percent did she get correct? So, knowing that Sally answered 17 questions correctly out of the 20, let's set up our proportion. Remember, we're going to use the part over whole. I'm going to abbreviate it to P over W. And then we're going to set up our 2 other ratios and start out our proportion. We're going to put the percent on top as X. So let's remember, Sally answered 17 questions correctly out of 20, and we're working on trying to figure out the percent that she did answer correctly. So we're going to use our percent proportion as we talked about, which is part over whole. So I'm going to abbreviate that to P over W and set up our ratios. And we're going to put 100 on the bottom because that is our whole percent, and we're trying to find the percent as X. 17 represents the part, and 20 is our whole. We're going to cross multiply, and 17 times 100 is 1700, which equals 20 times X, or 20X. We're going to divide by 20 on each side, and 20 divided by 20 cancels out because it is equal to 1X. Now let's divide 1700 by 20 over here on the side. 20 goes into 1 0 times, 7 0 times, and into 178 times. When we subtract 160, we get 10, bring down our 0, and 20 goes into 100 5 times. So X equals 85. Or we can say that Sally made an 85%. So remember, percents really are easy. Just remember your percent proportion. Part over whole always equals your percent over 100. If you remember that, you should have no problem tackling those percents in your everyday life.